It was the drink that broke the internet. It literally caused human stampedes. We all saw the videos of crowds of teenagers storming supermarket aisles at 6 AM, shelves wiped completely clean in seconds, and parents driving hundreds of miles on a rumor that there might be one can left in some far-off town. Security guards had to be posted at the soft drinks aisle like it was the door of a nightclub on Friday night. And the masterminds behind it all were two of the biggest YouTubers on the planet, Logan Paul and KSI. One American and one British internet icon conspiring to make the youth of the UK collectively lose their minds. Prime instantly became something far bigger than a simple beverage. It exploded into a full-blown cultural movement in 2022, evolving into a genuine status symbol among people born post-2010. We all saw the kids flexing that iconic empty bottle as a social media trophy in their bedroom. To anyone old enough to have a job and a mortgage, it was completely inexplicable. But at the end of the day, the hype was undeniable. But fast forward to 2025, and that world-conquering hype has crashed out faster than a teenager after necking 5 cans of energy drink. Walk into any major UK supermarket today, and you'll see those same brightly coloured bottles. Only now, they're dusty and stacked in discount bins, often with a desperate-looking 50p sticker slapped on the side. In the UK, which was once one of Prime's biggest and most obsessive markets, sales have entered an absolute freefall. We're talking a catastrophic 71% collapse compared to this time last year. So, what happened? How did the fastest growing drink in the world, the drink that defined viral, fall off a cliff this fast? This is the story of how two of the world's best marketers created a phenomenon and then watched it all unravel. When Prime Hydration launched in early 2022, it made an explosive entrance into the market, propelled by the backing of two of the internet's most powerful creators, Logan Paul and KSI. They had hundreds of millions of followers, years of a bitter public rivalry, 2 boxing matches, and a combined fan base that was practically begging to be monetized. Their primary demographic was the world of young kids who viewed Logan and KSI as global icons, far more than just YouTubers. For most other demographics, especially those not constantly online, the two of them were largely unknown. You might hear about them on the regular news anytime they did something particularly absurd or appalling, but aside from that, you'd go out your way to avoid them. But the generational divide was stark, and millions of kids treated these people as heroes. So, for a solid 18 months, Prime's launch strategy worked more beautifully than anyone could have imagined. The consumer frenzy turned the simple act of buying Prime into a literal treasure hunt. This madness created a bizarre black market, with touts and scalpers buying up stock in order to sell it on at a profit. This was perfectly captured by the Wakey Wines phenomenon, where this small corner shop in Wakefield became a national news story for selling £2 bottles for £20, £50, or even £100. Retailers like Asda and Sainsbury's, who had the initial exclusivity, couldn't restock fast enough. Kids were genuinely pulling all-nighters to line up outside. In its first year alone, Prime reportedly raked in $250 million, or about £190 million, in global retail sales. By 2023, that number had doubled. But here's the problem with a rocket built on pure hype. It's designed to go up fast, but it has no parachutes. And the moment Prime became a mainstream product, the clock started ticking. By mid-2024, the cracks were already showing. The first major blow came when UK sales began slipping. As The Grocer reported, the energy drink sales dropped a staggering 71%. Reports from Business Insider and City AM confirmed the slide across the board. There was less foot traffic, less online buzz, and a whole lot more unsold bottles gathering dust. Suddenly, retailers who had been begging for more stock went from struggling to keep it on the shelves to slashing prices just to get it out the door. So, what caused this catastrophic collapse? The answer boils down to a perfect storm of 4 critical failures. And it all starts with the most obvious one: overexposure. Prime's initial success was built on scarcity. It was rare. Getting a bottle was a win. But that kind of saturation has a massive downside. Logan and KSI, in a bid to go global, did what any brand would do. They expanded. They signed deals with Tesco, got into Spa, and plastered the Prime logo on UFC fights, on the back of Arsenal kits, and on Bayern Munich Stadium. It was literally everywhere. And in doing so, they killed the magic. What was once rare became painfully ordinary. As soon as kids could just walk into their local petrol station and see a fully stocked fridge, it stopped being cool. The brand lost its exclusive flex status and was relegated to being just another drink. The second, and arguably more damaging reason, was the immediate and fierce backlash. From day one, health experts began raising bright red flags, especially concerning the caffeine levels in the brand's 2023 product Prime Energy. We're talking 200 milligrams per can, the same as 3 full-sized espressos or nearly 3 cans of Red Bull. This incredibly high caffeine content was aimed squarely at the brand's core audience, kids, despite the fact it wasn't even suitable for them. The resulting fallout was almost immediate. As parents grew increasingly concerned, schools began banning the drink outright. This anxiety was soon amplified by a tidal wave of negative press, with stories circulating of kids getting jittery, having heart palpitations, or becoming sick after chugging a can they had mistaken for the caffeine-free hydration version. And that leads to the third, and perhaps most baffling failure, the brand confusion. Let's be honest, Prime Hydration and Prime Energy look almost identical. The cans and bottles share the exact same branding, the same fonts, the same visual language. But one is a caffeine-free sports drink, and the other is a high-octane energy stimulant. Parents, teachers, and even some retailers couldn't tell the difference. This led to endless confusion and a whole lot of negative headlines that didn't distinguish between the two products. The entire Prime name just became associated with danger and caffeine in the minds of the people actually paying for it, the parents. But bad PR doesn't kill a brand on its own. What really kills it is losing relevance. And Prime, for all its noise, started feeling outdated. Its biggest strength, the superstar power of Logan Paul and KSI, quickly turned into its biggest weakness. The creator economy moves at warp speed. In 2022, Logan and KSI were the undisputed top dogs. But by 2025, the algorithm had crowned new kings. TikTok trends had shifted and YouTube audiences grew up or simply moved on. At the same time, the actual taste and performance of the drink struggled to build the kind of real, long-term loyalty a brand needs to survive. For a huge part of its audience, Prime was treated as a collectible, an item to acquire once rather than a daily staple. As soon as that novelty wore off, the public reviews became decidedly mixed. This is the fourth and final nail in the coffin: the brutal market saturation. Prime entered the UK at a time when the energy and sports drink space was already one of the most crowded on earth. You have the legacy titans of Red Bull, Monster, and the beloved homegrown favorite, Lucozade. These brands have deep roots and incredibly loyal customers. Prime came in hot, but it struggled to carve out a clear, sustainable lane for itself. It found itself squeezed by established competitors on all sides. Other brands were already known as the healthiest options, the most extreme performance drinks, or the go-to budget buys. Prime, sitting awkwardly in the middle, ultimately projected a brand without a clear long-term identity. So what's next for Prime? In the UK, a comeback looks incredibly difficult. The brand is now at a serious crossroads, facing a severe identity crisis. Its fundamental purpose in the market is no longer clear. But what do you reckon? Is the Prime hype completely dead in the UK? Or do you think Logan and KSI can actually pull off a comeback? Or would you rather see them crash and burn completely? Drop your thoughts, your best Prime hunting memories, and your predictions for the brand in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed the video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and tap the bell so you don't miss any more deep dives like this one. Cheers for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.